Hello and welcome to Warcourse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us tonight for the Cookout Podcast, where we talk about what's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling. And tonight,
Hi. that was
that's a
it.
segue. That's a
What the hell?
segue.
I was like, what happened? And tonight, and then it just like trailed off.
That's a segue for somebody else to take over.
Oh, that was a segue for someone else to take over. I see. And tonight, let's see, we're going to talk about TNA No Surrender from Friday night and WWE Elimination Chamber from Saturday. And we're going to preview AEW Revolution that is next Sunday, March 3rd. So, of which we will be doing a live watch along. So please make sure and join us for that. As usual, we're here on Tuesday nights live, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as Sammy said, to talk about all that's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling. And yeah, so I guess we'll kick it off with TNA from Friday night. I actually have a little somewhere here. How about that? Boom! TNA. No surrender. Thank you, Dolores. Thank you, Dolores. So let's see. That was on Friday night. It was on at the same time as SmackDown. I watched that, and Anika watched SmackDown. Well, I guess you went back and forth. You were watching them both, actually. Honestly,
Yeah.
you were watching them both for a time, and a couple times when SmackDown was boring, or vice versa, you'd switch over to the other for a little more. Let's see. But on the Countdown show, which we didn't actually do live, but I did watch,
Right.
we had the Rascals defeating Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. Um, I was first of all, I'm a little disappointed that this match was on the Countdown card. I mean, I saw it, but like this should be these four guys belong on a main card, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the
I don't care what
Rascals are
the
one of
card
the.
is. Mike Bailey belongs on the card.
I agree. I mean, the Rascals are one of the better one of the premier tag teams in TNA, and Mike Bailey is Mike Bailey, and Trent Seven's great, and the two of them together are a good tag team. So I was surprised this was on the Countdown show, as I was surprised they took the loss.
Question:
No.
Trent Seven or Tyler Bate?
Tyler Bate.
Ooh, I don't know
Big
about
strong
that.
boy.
I like them both. I mean, I, you know, as a guy that tends to be round in shape, I like Trent Seven because he kind of still has that. He doesn't have that normal wrestling I'm ripped body so I kind of like that. He kind of has a bit of a dad bod. Um, so I'm here for that, but I like them both pretty equally. I'm not sure that I could pick between the two, honestly.
Well, I mean, the correct answer is Pete Dunne.
Well, there is that too. So anything you guys want to say about this match?
Solid.
It probably was on the pre-show because probably just basically for the build. It's like it probably didn't have much build up for it, so it was like, you know what, we what TNA pay-per-view didn't have Mike Bailey, so we're just gonna throw this little extra wood on the grill, and it'll be fun. So it was fun. Yeah.
The Countdown show had two matches. Second match was Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers versus Kevin Knight and Kushida, international galactic or intergalactic jet setters, right? Versus,
Intergalactic jet setters.
and I guess Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. Brian Myers is half of one, or I don't know. He's usually with Matt Cardona, but he's here with Eddie Edwards.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Since him and Cardona have been together?
Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
Because Cardona's been in TNA.
Yeah.
I don't remember last time he's been in TNA. Yeah.
And the last time he was in there, I'm pretty sure they were feuding.
Aww.
So Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers defeated Kevin Knight and Kushida. I thought this was an okay match. Again, disappointed. I wanted Kevin Knight and Kushida to win. I like Eddie Edwards. I hate Brian Myers. So it is what it is.
This threw me off prediction wise because later on, it was the same people. Well, same teams against each other later on for the main event. Well, the second match to main event, and I'm like, okay, in what world are one team gonna lose both matches? So let me just choose one over the other, and it's like, oh, we're not doing that. Okay, all right, that's fine, I guess. But no, I love. I was very surprised that they're like, no, because she should be winning. Eddie, oh, no offense.
Yeah. No, I mean, I already 2 matches in. I was disappointed with the outcome of both of those matches. Then the main card started, and we had the first match, which was the TNA World Title #1 contender match between Frankie Kazarian and Eric Young, who's back in TNA. I guess technically they're both back in TNA, but Eric Young was gone for a minute. He's been back now for a little bit, but Kaz has been back longer. Let's put it that way. And Eric Young took the win here, which again, I was a little disappointed. I like Eric Young, but I'm a huge Kaz fan. And Kaz was talking shit like he demanded to be introduced as King of TNA and he wanted to, you know what I mean? And so and then he takes loss, which I guess further breeds into kind of his downward spiral into, his heel turn, which he's definitely having because he attacked the referee after the match. So I guess he's...
Correct me if I'm wrong. Eric Young came back. Then Kaz came back. Then Eric Young left, and now Eric Young is back again.
That's correct. I believe that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that is correct. Yep. Yes, sir. So Eric Young got the win here and is, I guess, I don't know if he goes on to wrestle somebody else or if this makes him a #1 contender. I assume it does since it says the #1 contenders match.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this match? What do you guys think of Eric Young being the #1 contender?
I felt so awkward for Eric Young.
Why is that?
Well, so he leaves WWE because he had issues with Vince. Then he leaves TNA to go back to WWE, and then Vince comes back, and then Eric Young's like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm out. And now Vince is gone. But Eric Young's already signed to come back to TNA. So it's just, ships passing in the night. Eric Young and Triple H just keep missing each other.
I thought, I mean,
and,
I didn't know
that iceberg.
I didn't know that it was because that they thought because Vince was still there. I thought it was because he was slated to be part of the Bray Wyatt, whatever thing, and that never ended up happening. And so,
but Vince was supposedly gone, and Eric Young was like, "All right, I'll come back if Vince is out."
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And then Vince came back again,
right? Yeah.
And Eric Young was like, "No, I ain't doing it."
Because they're gearing up for a sanitary reunion, and I wanted to see that so bad. And then, Vince comes back because you're pompous and arrogant. So it's like, no, probably he's like the smart thing. He's like, no, I already seen this story. Let me just get out now. And at a certain point in your career, you got to do the safe thing, the most reliable thing. And even though we all think Vince is gone, until he's behind bars, I won't believe that.
I mean, what is it? 15-year sentence? 15, 20?
Well, I don't think he's not even sentenced yet. It's right now. It's just a lawsuit. Like, I think there's an investigation, but right now it's just a lawsuit. So that's why I'm like, he hasn't even been indicted or arrested yet.
But what he's being charged with is a serious thing, and that's like 15 to 20 years.
But you said charged. He hasn't been charged yet. That's what I'm saying. Right now it's just a lawsuit.
Right, what he's potentially been accused of.
There we go.
Could be very, yes, it could hold a lofty sentence, but who knows what's going to end up happening, and how corrupt our judicial system is and how money rules everything. So, and we'll see. I mean, my guess is at his age and everything, he's not going to do any kind of real serious jail time. I'd be really surprised if he went away for a long time.
Man,
I hope
if
he
gets
does.
sent away for 20 years, And he's going to live through that 20 years and come back out. And
I mean, I hope he does. You know, I mean, I hope he gets 20 years and dies in prison. But I don't. I
no,
don't
he's
think
not
that's
going to die in
gonna.
prison. I'm saying he's going
I heard what you said, but I
he'll
don't. I mean,
outlive that
obviously,
sentence. He will
that's not a
outlive that sentence.
reality. I mean, at almost 75 years old. I mean, I don't think he's going to live to be
He's going to live another
96.
30
Not
years.
in prison.
He's going to
You
live
know.
another 30 years. I'm telling you right now.
Like so in a
I
nutshell,
sure hope you're wrong.
I think Eric made the
Only
wise.
the good die young.
Like
Yeah, no, I mean, what do you guys think about him being a number one contender to the title? Obviously, he's going to be wrestling Moose. We'll talk about that later.
Moose.
When we get to the main event. But what do you think about Eric Young being the number one contender? You guys okay with that? You have a
I'm
problem with
okay with
that?
him being the number one contender, but let's just be clear, perfectly clear right now. Moose is the forever TNA champion in my heart.
no,
Um,
He brought the TNA title back when it was still Impact. He saved the company from Tessa Blanchard.
but yeah,
I,
both TNA OGs. You really can't go wrong with either one. So I'm not mad at either one winning. Yeah.
I've got to keep the same energy, right? I mean, I talk a lot about recycling guys and seeing the same guys get too many of the same spots all the time, and why can't we see some of these younger guys in some of those spots? TNA has a little bit of a lack of younger guys, so I understand they need to fill some of those spots. But Eric Young's
How
been
old is
champion before.
Moose?
We've been here, done that. Like, Moose isn't terribly old. Moose, I think, is in his late 30s, maybe at 40. He might be 40.
I'd have to
Um,
Google it. I honestly don't know his age.
Um, but we've been there and done that, right? With whatchamacallit already, with Eric Young and TNA. He's been world champion, I believe, more than once, if not more than twice. So, I mean,
He was
again,
the original
I don't
Daniel
know,
Bryan.
I'm not sure in
Or
my
was he
head
after
who
Daniel
I
Bryan?
want. What do you mean?
The whole Yes movement, Daniel Bryan becoming
Oh,
world champion and everything.
right.
Like,
Yeah, that's a good
was
question.
Eric Young's reign
Honestly,
before or after that? Because I
I think it
remember
was
people
before
making the
that.
comparisons of like Eric
I think it
Young
might have been
is
before that.
TNA's Daniel Bryan.
I think it was before
Interesting.
that too. I remember that
Yeah.
whole. I remember that whole thing. It was right after him and ODB got together, and I love that storyline because it shouldn't have worked, but it worked so well. But
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Back when
Kaz
Eric
isn't
Young
young
had hair.
either. I mean, both of these guys are recycled veterans. So I mean, in this case, in this situation, it doesn't matter. I just like Kaz better, so that's why I wanted Kaz to win. But at this point, they need an influx of some fresh blood, especially in that world title spot.
From where?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Like,
That's a good
well,
question.
in my mind, and maybe this is what they're, and hopefully this is what they're doing, right? They just brought the TNA brand back. They just brought the name back. So maybe let's give it a month to solidify TNA is back with a TNA OG. Again, I say a month, and then bring in the fresh blood. Like we TNA. Remember Eric Young?
Where's your
Remember Kazarian?
boy Okada? I thought your boy Okada was coming to TNA.
He not going to TNA.
I
Well,
mean, who is
it was
there at
that
on the indie scene?
it was that one event, but he's going to AEW. He ain't going to TNA.
You got what, Oliver and GCW? Like,
Yeah, Blake
who's out
Christian,
there?
Jordan Oliver. I mean, I mean, there's some good guys, but I mean, you have some guys. I mean, there's some tag team guys. I mean, Trey Miguel's a really good wrestler. You've got there's some other guys there. I'd have to look at their roster, but I mean, a lot of them are in tag teams. But I mean, and I'm not
Yeah,
necessarily there for
same
splitting
thing
them up,
with
but
Chris Bay and Ace Austin.
that's just what I was going to say. I'm not necessarily here for splitting them up, but both of those guys, I'd be much interested in seeing either one of those guys wrestle Moose for the title or have a title run than I would seeing Eric Young hold the belt again or Moose hold it for another 6 to 9 months or whatever the case may be. I mean,
Hey, hey,
what
hey, 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 hey! I disagree with that. 6 to 9 months of Moose, I'm down.
So question, have
but you like the Roman Reigns reign too. So
Yes, I do.
so
we know you have no taste. So
how long did
Whoa!
Lee become champion?
what?
So how long has Mike Bailey been? Has Mike Bailey ever been TNA champion? And if so,
No.
so
He's fresh to Impact. He has like hardly any time there. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he's been an Impact. He's probably been an Impact for all of about 6 months altogether, I would think. He's wrestled probably a half a dozen matches, maybe 10 matches at most. So,
we're talking about First Blood. I wouldn't mind
yeah,
that.
but I mean, he's a guy that should be, I mean, potentially, wrestling at the top of the card too there. I mean, as a singles competitor, I mean, So,
but the thing is that like I feel like they'd have to take talent from elsewhere. Like they do have like half a dozen young talent that is comparable that to being in the scene, but like not as much as you'd want. Not as much as you'd
no,
want.
I agree. I agree. They need an influx of some younger singles talent. Most of their talent, like I said, most of their young talent is wrapped up in tag teams, right? I mean, look at Kushida, you look at Kevin Knight, not that Kushida's young anymore, but Kushida, Kevin Knight, or even Trent Seven, Mike Bailey, all these guys, the ones,
Well,
even the Rascals, we talked about them, both of them. I
Trent
mean,
Seven's not young.
everyone's, no, I know, but I'm just saying, younger, fresher blood, newer to TNA. The guys that haven't necessarily been champions before, or haven't been whatever. So, but it is what it is. I mean, we'll see.
Like
I just say whoever is to make sure they're ready and they're championship worthy, because you don't want to have another Matt Taven or Highway situation on your hands. So I'll just say that.
well, I feel like AEW is a little spoilt for their young talent.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like they have
Yep,
so many, like they can't even properly use them because they have so many young talent.
100%. Yeah, no, I think WWE suffers from not having enough young talent. Also,
Oh well, I
um,
mean their guys are on NXT, so
yeah, even some of those guys. Like, first of all, there aren't really there's maybe a handful of guys on NXT that are really main roster ready at the moment, and a couple of them aren't even young, right? So, in the scheme of things, like actual age wise, I mean, some of them are, but some of them aren't, right? So,
I mean, who's
um,
the oldest dude? Is it Joe Gacy? Is he the oldest? Well, I mean, they got the Good
uh,
Brothers now, so never mind. But
Yeah. And Baron Corbin is still over there too.
yeah, I mean, I guess the main one, Braun Breaker's still young, and he's up at the roster. Melo's still
hmm
young, he's up at the roster. He's about to be up at the roster, I assume.
you got Trick.
Ilya is still pretty young.
Yeah,
Yeah, Trick is still
King is
young.
still young.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like Lexus King, but yes, you're right. He is still young.
Oh my god.
I liked him better when he had a mullet.
All right, so let's keep trudging through this no surrender card. Let's see. Then we had the match 3 of 3 for the TNA World Tag Team Championship between ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, versus the Grizzled Young Veterans, newly released from WWE.
I got the
Glad to
Jackson
see
Five stuck in
them
my
no
head now.
longer in WWE, and glad to see. It's very interesting to see that they got right into a world title program, especially with all the tag teams in TNA. But I get it, and I'm okay with it ultimately. Let's see. ABC got the win and
Hit him with
retained
the
their
do re mi and
titles.
got the 1 2 3.
Yep, and retained their titles. What do you guys think of this match? What do you guys think of Grizzled Young Veterans in TNA?
Um, it's nice to have him there, but also like ABC's just a cut above.
Ooh.
Oh,
Like
ABC is just a cut above.
they are like I feel like they would do great at any promotion that you put them in.
I agree
Like
with that.
they could go to AEW, they could go to WWE, and they could be at the top of their rosters.
I would agree with that. I mean, I'd be concerned with how WWE would use them a little more than than AEW. I get a little concerned that AEW did kind of fall through some of the cracks, but
Man,
yeah, I mean, I did.
I'd like to see them versus Theory and Waller. I'd like to see them versus the Street Profits. Like,
Yeah,
oh, them versus the New Day, that would be amazing.
yeah. Speaking of the New Day, just real quick, since you mentioned it, it was in my head. Are we ever going to see Big E again? You think he's ever going to wrestle again? Put a percentage on it, both of you guys. What percentage do you think he'll ever wrestle again?
If he's not coming back soon, Put him on commentary. The SmackDown commentary team could really use Big E, in my opinion.
Oh my God, him and Corey will be amazing.
Well,
But him coming back wrestling wise, I'm trying to go with my head and my heart, so I'm gonna give it 35%.
because you got 2 heel commentators on SmackDown, like he could really bring some more nuance to that commentary team having a babyface commentator with them. Like Monday Night Raw's fine. Like even though they do 3 hours, the 2 of them together is like it's money, it's magic. Like they really don't need a third person, but
They don't.
SmackDown does. Even though it's only 2 hours, they need the third person.
So percentage, Sammy, that Big E wrestles another match.
The fact that they haven't been showing him doing other things, I think it's pretty high. I think it's like 85% due to the fact that they're not showcasing him in other ways. Like if they were like, we might not be able to get you back, they'd be finding other avenues to have him there.
But
because they're not, I think that they're like, we want you to heal up because we want you back in the ring.
But in every interview, and maybe he's just being cautious. But Big E is like, my neck health is above everything else. And then just hearing Bobby Roode's interview, he's like, I'm medically cleared to go, but risk wise, I just can't take it. So it's not even about just being clear. It's also about the mental aspect of getting back into the ring, especially with a neck injury.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm going with my mind, not my heart, because as a wrestling fan, one more match is not just a chant. It's like every time you just see him in the ring in one good promo, it's just like Vader 2012. Oh, 2 more matches. He did great. One more. No, he can't listen to us because we're crackheads, allegedly. But so yeah, I want him to be completely healthy. And like I said, every interview he is being cautious as heck. And it's not like there's a chance, but he's like, please don't wait for me cautious. So I'm gonna give it 35.
Look at Corey Graves. They realized he wouldn't be able to wrestle again, so they put him on commentary, very quickly.
I totally agree with you about that. And I think it really is a matter of how bad do you want it and what the injury is, right? Like,
isn't it the same injury?
I'm not sure, because I think middle line is probably Daniel Bryan, where it's like he was hurt and he was hurt for a minute.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, like we saw Edge and Daniel Bryan, they were gone for 10 years before they decided to come back, even though they had been cleared a long time ago. But like the mental part of deciding to come back and be ready and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Daniel Bryan wanted back. He basically forced their hand of either you bring me back or I'm going somewhere else.
Sure. Yeah, but Edge is kind of the same situation too, right? I mean,
also Edge appeared every now and again. He'd do some segments with people.
Right.
Like, we haven't seen Big E.
That's true. He is only 37, though. So, in theory, he's got, a fair amount of time, I guess, to still wait and let it heal, both physically and mentally, right? Because you got to get past the mental part of getting back in the ring again, too. So,
another thing with Edge, though, is he never went back in to get checked. Like, he was told the result, and then it was like a decade later that he was like, well, I'm thinking about it, so I'll go and get checked. And they were like, yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And that's crazy year-wise. I think it's only been 4 years, maybe 3, since Big E got hurt. And comparing that to the 10 years Edge was off, and I think
it's been that long already. Wow.
It was definitely, I want to say,
it wasn't. So Edge, it was 2013, I believe, 2013.
No,
he came back 2021.
No. It was 2011, and he came back 2020. It was literally either 9 or 10 years.
Yeah, it was 9 years. It was almost 10 though, and that's why it's just easier to say 10 because that's what you think.
I just can't believe Big E's been gone that long. It doesn't seem like
Mm.
5 years.
No, I want to say it was 2021. It was definitely after he was champion, and that happened during pandemic. Like we were getting out of it. So I want to say 3 years sounds just about right.
3 years. Okay. Yeah.
Long
Wow.
and short. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Sorry for that segue. Let's see. Then we have PCO versus Khan. PCO got the win by DQ. This was what you expected to be a bit of a shit show. It's a PCO match. He did do 2 tope cannonballs. The first one he missed. The second one he hit. I do give him some credit for at least attempting that at almost 60 years old. But yeah, I don't. This was a match that I didn't need on my screen. What about you guys?
I'm still flabbergasted that PCO left Ring of Honor and went to TNA. Like I would have sworn he was going to go to GCW. Like GCW made a world of sense to me.
It does seem like a natural fit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then we had World Tag Team Champion DK versus MK Ultra, in which MK Ultra took the titles back. They had them before, they lost them to DK, and now they have them back. I mentioned that I had not watched TNA while I was out for a while, and as a result, I was a little confused because when I left, Rosemary had gone to another dimension and had come back as Courtney Rush, and that really wasn't working out. Me and CM had talked about how that wasn't working out, the Courtney Rush character. And now when I came back, she's back as Rosemary, and DK is back as the normal DK, Rosemary and Havoc. So, although I like Masha and Kelly, so they were my pick here. I picked them to win this match, and I'm happy they won.
Masha is also a cut above. How I talked about ABC before, like if somebody's going to beat Jordan Grace for the title, I'm putting my money on Masha.
Decent.
Yeah.
I'll just say y'all nasty. That was the freaking middle spot where they were doing the cake. Not y'all. The freaking women was nasty. Y'all, that's fine. Y'all could have put the preparation between your thighs. You're nasty.
About to say, what did I do? What did I do? I'm a good Christian boy, like the young bucks.
You didn't enjoy that spot? You know what spot I'm talking about? No, I'm
not. All right. Let's see. We had Josh Alexander versus Simon Gotch, our former, what was his name in WWE?
Simon Gotch.
No, did he go by Simon Gotch in WWE too? I thought he was something else when he was a vaudevillain. No?
Oh,
it was Aiden English and Simon Gotch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. For some reason I thought he was something else, but yes. So Simon Gotch, as you remember him from NXT and WWE.
I mean, 100 years ago, there was a phenomenal wrestler by the name of Carl Gotch.
Yeah, no, I knew that. I just thought for some reason when he was part of the Vaudevillains, he had a different name. But apparently not. He was also in MLW for a while as part of Contra, and now he appears in TNA as a regular. I assume he's been signed because he's been there for a little while now. So this is Josh Alexander versus Simon Gotch, and Josh got the win, as you kind of would expect. The match was actually better than I anticipated, which I guess I should have expected because Josh doesn't really have bad matches, and Simon's a good wrestler. They seem at kind of different levels to me, which I guess makes sense as to why Josh got the win. Not totally sure why Simon and Josh are wrestling, but okay. I thought it was a fun match.
I'll say it. Josh Alexander is a cut above.
He is, but Gotch went to town though. Like ALW
He did.
said, this was very more. He did more than I expected, and coming from me, who has not been watching TNA lately, and didn't know he was a Bond villain until he went to Aiden English and did this. I'm like, oh, that's cute. And so, but no, this was. I can definitely see him hopefully in the X division. That would be very lovely because yeah, he actually went toe to toe and actually went. This was actually a very entertaining match.
I always preferred Aiden English.
I did like when he ran over to Aiden English and did the whole little vaudevillains thing that they used to do. So I thought that was funny.
Oh, can I also take a moment to talk how Aiden English is phenomenal on commentary? Honestly, one of my favorite commentators. The work he's done with New Japan has been incredible as well. Like, it kind of astounds me that TNA's the company that picked him up because, like, when he was a free agent, like anybody could have signed him, but TNA got him.
New Japan's going through something right now, unfortunately.
Let's see. Then we had backstage. We had AJ Francis confront Rich Swann. They're going to have a match on Thursday on TNA on TV. What do you guys think of AJ Francis? Top dollar being in TNA.
I was honestly sitting there like, come on, Rich, come on, say his name, say his name, and he'll appear. Say his name.
I think this is perfect for him. Like, let's rebuild the character, erase all of the foolishness from WWE SmackDown. I'm not gonna say TNA, not gonna say NXT, but more so the main roster. Like, let's just full on brainwash whatever freaking happened and just start anew. And I think TNA is probably the best place to do that for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
that brings us. Go ahead.
He had that botch on SmackDown, and honestly, the WWE fans, that's all that they were ever going to remember.
That's what I'm saying. Just freaking scrub that out of your memory. The only way he would have stayed in WWE and try to erase that if he tried it again. I would have loved for him to do it, but we never got there. Hopefully he'll do it in TNA, and I will resend it. I will resend the crap out of that. But yeah, if he didn't do it again and make it, yeah, that would have just. Yeah.
I mean, at least with like Titus, like
I was gonna say it's just like Titus being known for the. He's leaned into it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the same situation though, yeah. All everyone ever remembers about Titus is falling down.
It might be worse because with Titus, it's an accident, right? Honestly, anyone can run that fast and slide. Not gonna say anyone, but like the nice majority of people, that can happen to anyone. You have to know you can jump over the top rope to try it on national television, and you know at least 1 million people are watching. If you don't do that, and you just think you can do it. No, you have to actually know and actually try it and have succeeded. It's like Brock Lesnar and the freaking 5-star flip thing. We knew he could do it. He tried it, but for some reason at WrestleMania, God was like, "Nah, I'm just taking legs. You just go halfway make it."
That was Brock's finishing move in OVW.
That's what I'm saying.
But he hadn't done it in like a year.
Like with Brock, he actually tried it and it didn't work. I would love to have a conversation. I would love for Top Dollar to have a conversation with Chris Van Vliet or somebody, and it's like, have you ever tried it and it worked? And that night wasn't your night. If he says no, I'm punching you in the throat.
Like, if you don't use it, you lose it.
You lose it. That goes with a lot of moves. Yes.
Will Ospreay's really changed his moveset since he's put on muscle. He can't do as many zippy doodads as he used to.
You say that my first stop was KO, and he used to do this the turn, the whole turn on the top rope and then into a somersault. He tried it. He lost his balance. It wasn't a bad botch. He recovered quickly, but it's like nope, ain't gonna do it no more. But like, he just slipped. He just like he slipped. He got back on and just did it. But it's like, nope, no, ain't gonna do it again. And I'm like, but we know you can do it though. You just haven't done it in a while.
Let's see.
Will
That brings
Ospreay
up.
also talked about how, like, being heavier, it's more energy to move, and he'd be more tired after a match than how he used to be.
Yeah.
And it's really fascinating how that works, you know?
Yeah.
We
I mean,
know
as with anything, the more weight you carry, right, the harder it is to move it around. So
we know he was tired when he went to Wembley. He had to freaking pull all the dang old stuff against freaking Jericho. You know his old behind can't move. Like, you ain't gonna mess this up. All right, I have to pull everything out the box. Hey, moonsault. Cutter, triple cutter.
Best in the world.
Oz Cutter. All right. Let's see. TNA World Championship, No Surrender. Moose champion versus Alex Shelley. Moose retains his title
Moose.
in which you would expect had a ton of shenanigans because it's a no surrender, which ultimately means no DQ. So, everyone was here. Myers slipped the brass knuckles in on Moose's hand. All sorts of stuff.
Next person who says shenanigans.
Kushida and Knight came out to take out the system. Alicia Edwards was out there. It was all kind of a clusterfuck at the end and a bit of a shit show. What do you guys think of this match? What do you guys think of Moose retaining here? Should Alex Shelley get another shot at this point, or they need to move on, do something else?
It's funny how the most TNA feeling match is once again the main event.
Oh no!
No, it's not actually not. It was second to main event. Co-main event. We got Jordan Grace still.
Well, I mean,
three. Actually, 3 matches to go.
Co-main event.
Co-main event is still a main event.
It's not. It's not. I don't care how many. I don't care what the freaking Booker Sugar Lover says. Okay. It's not. The last match is the main event.
Okay.
Last match is the main event.
But as someone who didn't know what the frick was going on, I just saw it was 2 teams and Kushida threw in the tile. And thank God Dolores was like, no, well, Alex Shelley in the Indies is a bad guy. And that's actually bringing in the TNA, which I do love. I'm like, yeah, if something's working in the Indies, let it come over here. But basically, he's the old bitter vet in the Indies, and he was doing that a little bit more before the match started. That's why Kushida threw the towel. I think because he was really, that was a nice little character development.
But this match gave me some like vibes of the olden days of TNA, like the Steiner
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
First Mountain.
Yeah, I mean it was a little too crazy and all over the place for me for an actual world title match. But
it was, but I enjoyed it. Like TNA is the one company that can get away with doing it.
We'll have to see if we get Eric Young because he beat Kaz and I guess technically is the number 1 contender. Mm-hmm. Whether it'll be Eric Young or Alex Shelley gets another shot or it's somebody else challenging Moose. I guess we'll have to see. Then we had. Oh, I guess we didn't. Yeah, you're right. There are still 2 more matches. Oh. TNA Knockout World Champion match. Jordan Grace versus Giselle Shaw. Jordan Grace retains in a solid win. She's beat Giselle Shaw before. I think Jordan's going to have a nice run here with the title. I think I think she'll have it for a little while.
Yeah. I think the person to take it off of her is Masha, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as long as Masha and Kelly have the tag team titles, they probably got their hands full enough. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope that they do something else. I don't necessarily want to see Giselle Shaw and Jordan Grace again. I feel like these 2 have been circling each other and wrestling each other several times over the last few years, and I'm ready for them to kind of move on. But I guess we'll have to see what ends up happening.
Yeah, Jordan Grace is a doll and a great person to be your champion. So I would say TNA, Just make sure whoever is you're going up against, make sure it's a good story and a good opponent.
I don't have any information. I know nothing about what happened or went down with her, with Naomi going back to WWE. Me personally, I I would have I would have liked her to stay in TNA myself. I just think that I liked her better out of the WWE environment. I feel like she has more potential to be a bigger star outside of WWE. I think WWE is only going to push her so much.
So a
Now, if
couple
she's getting
notes.
paid a lot more power to her. If she's happy and content, then that's fine. But 9 months ago, you walked out because you weren't. Like, I don't know. The whole thing is, I don't know.
Uh, so a couple notes. Well, first of all, hasn't it been a lot more than 9 months?
It's been
I don't
it's
know.
been
When
a
was it? A year ago? I mean, last summer? I mean,
Year and a
when was
half?
it?
it was after WrestleMania. So 9 months might sound about right because it was like
No, no,
right
no.
after
Year
WrestleMania.
before.
Year before?
Year before.
Oh, it's been
Because
that
it was in
long?
Dallas. So yeah, it might have been a year and a half. Wow. Yep.
Oh, wow,
Yep.
Uh,
okay. Well, either way.
so
Okay.
more money. She gets to travel with her husband. And also Vince and Johnny Ace are both gone.
Sure.
No, I agree with all that. And honest to say, I do agree with you. I would have loved for her to stay in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had hoped that because Jordan Grace did it like the Royal Rumble. It wasn't just a Jordan Grace in the Royal Rumble. They actually put a spotlight on her, and she actually wrecked house, and she actually actually was great, right? And I love the moment where they're like where her and Naomi hugged and started fighting like because that was your last opponent.
Yeah.
So I'm
And no
hoping.
shame being eliminated by Bianca Belair.
Oh, definitely with a KOD too. Yeah, that was perfect. Like if I have to be eliminated, let it be something like that. But yeah, I hope that this whole working relationship is actually not just something that we're fabricating in our heads. It's not just about the Royal Rumble because you need bodies, an actual relationship. Because I would love like if there's any way for her to like Naomi to come back when she's pissed off or bored, and let's go out to TNA and have some fun, or have some people come over and do some things. I do love that, but I think it probably is extremely hard for the past over 10 years. You've been on the road with your husband. Y'all been together. Y'all been cool. It's been basically I'm working with my husband, and it's not interfering with our. It's not like there's no. This is our life. It's not like it's no conflict, right? And so, basically, a year and a half to 2 years being separated, that has to be, like you said, it's really your preference. And Vince and Johnny Ace being gone, like people like, well, Triple H come back. He is better. Triple H is better when it comes to people. I don't care what tier you put it over. Oh, he's only a half. He's only a half step better than Vince. That half step is. I'll take a half step more than Vince.
That half
I
step
will.
is him actually listening to you when you say you have problems
I
and
will.
not saying shut up and do what I tell you.
I will take that half step. Now, I will to make this for people who were supporting Sasha and Naomi. I would love. Not sure you're going to do it, but hey, I'll throw it out there. I would love for them to say you're sorry. To say that they're sorry because after they drop the titles, I know it's not going to happen. But after you drop the titles and you just went on, you just made. We're not going to. Michael Cole goes on commentary and y'all break the fourth wall to slander these women's names because they disagreed with the creative. And case in point, if you see the titles now, were they wrong? They were not. Right? I would love for them just to take a step, even in kayfabe, say you're sorry. I think it would make all of us feel a lot better. And it's like, that, you know what? Okay, now is officially a fresh start. Let's move forward.
I mean, Chelsea Green and Piper, like they were good, but like every other reign since then was terrible. I mean, now we got the Kabuki Warriors, which is like incredible.
I love them, but their last match that they did a pre-show on in Elimination Chamber that had no hype, and that was basically because Indy's Australian. She should be on the card. Okay, we'll give her a pre-match. It really basically was that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes when we get to Elimination
Yeah.
Chamber. But yeah, we can. Let's see. All right, so Jordan Grace won, retains the title. We'll see who she moves on to next. Then we had the X Division Championship and the main event of the show. Chris Sabin versus Mustafa Ali. Actually, let me ask you guys a quick question here. Are you surprised, as I was, that this was the main event? I was a little surprised that
Yeah,
Alex Shelley and Moose wasn't the main event.
yeah.
Honestly,
Or Jordan.
Yes and no, because
yeah,
if
I was
you're,
yeah, I was
even
very
though
surprised this was the main event.
I guess for me, I know I'm not a TNA regular watcher, but when we do these pay-per-views, it feels as though the same people are in the main event for the past couple of pay-per-views. So in that aspect, it's like,
Mhm. Yeah,
let's put in some fresh blood. And for someone like Mustafa Ali, who is getting a lot of
Mhm.
buzz in the indie scene, I think it was a good choice. So I'm like, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised.
Mustafa Ali could honestly like leave wrestling and go into acting. Like he is phenomenal.
No,
yeah.
he's good.
So these guys went back and forth, had a really strong match. Ali goes back up to the top rope and lands the 450 splash for the win. And new TNA X Division champion, Mustafa Ali.
Well,
What do
we're
y'all think
talking
about that?
about that TNA needs fresh blood, and I think that's why this was a perfect choice to be the main event. This is the fresh blood that was needed, and like going back to Jerusalem veterans, yes, the other team is cool, but when you have new people coming to your company, I get it. Everyone can't have the first win the first try, but if they are decent to great, I think it's a very good show of faith if you let them be a top star out the gate, if you let them have the title. So I'm very glad that they're doing this for Mustafa Ali. And then X Division title, oh my gosh.
I mean, let's be
Dream match.
clear. He's not a young talent. He's like the same age as John Moxley.
It like young talent as an age, no, but young talent as in didn't get his shot, was not on top of the roster ever. He still got a lot in the tank.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a lot that we have not seen from Mustafa Ali, and I am as exhibition champion. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so much fun.
There's like life years, right? And then there's wrestling years, right? And
Yeah.
it feels like Mustafa Ali is young in wrestling years still, just because he hasn't been, on the main scene for so long, and he hasn't never really got that major push and all those kind of things. No, I mean I think this is good. I mean,
Um,
I think it's interesting sometimes to bring a guy in that's basically new and put a title on him right away, but the thing is that he's not new, right? I mean, most people that watch TNA, I think, watch WWE. I think wrestling fans watch multiple shows and most shows, and know who these guys are from place to place, right? So if you're a TNA fan, you know who Mustafa Ali is already when he comes in. So it's not like this is your first time probably ever seeing him or ever hearing of him. So it's not some unknown to just come out of nowhere and win a title. So I think Anika's right that it looks good. So it looks good for TNA because they have new blood, and I think it looks good for guys that might be looking at places to land and go. It's like okay, so Mustafa Ali, who never really got the push in WWE, is in TNA, and now he's a champion right away. So I mean, they see the value in him at the moment, at least. So good for them and good for him.
he also got into wrestling later than most. Like he was already like late 20s when he started.
Yeah.
No, definitely
So
the vein
Go ahead.
of Diamond Dallas Page, where it's like a guy
Oh
didn't like
wow.
me, but I'm a star.
He was like mid-30s when he started.
But still, like, compared to Jeff Hardy who got in when they were 18 and 17, it's like
Hmm.
Yeah.
it's 10 years, but when you have the talent, it ain't gonna be that much of a difference.
Yeah. So that was our main event for TNA No Surrender from Friday night. And after that, when that show wrapped up, we had a predictions champion, and it was your boy Slammin' Sammy Joe. Although it's a short reign because we have new champions after Revolution or after Elimination Chamber. I'm sorry.
I mean, I could
Which
have done a three-way tie for that if I wanted to. I decided to try and be different.
So Slammin' Sammy Joe was our predictions winner for TNA No Surrender. And that brings us to we're going to talk about Elimination Chamber from last Saturday night. Dum, dum,
All right,
dum.
I'll say this. I'm glad I wasn't up for this. Like, no offense, this was not
Yeah, let me.
up
Yeah,
at 5:30 worthy. It was good, it was entertaining, but it was not worth getting up at 5:30 in the morning.
I
I
was still up.
debated it. I debated it. I thought, am I going to get up? Am I going to get up? And then I didn't, and I'm glad I did not because yeah, I would have been
I would have
upset
been
with
pissed.
what happened if I had. So
I got
yeah.
things to do today, and just
So let's
keep
see.
off of this.
On the before the main card, we had one match on the pre-show, I guess. Uh,
Hmm.
and this is the match you were just talking about a few minutes ago. WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. As you said, you got to get Indy on the card because she's Australian and it's in Australia. I'm again a little. I don't have a problem with this match at all. I think the match was fine. I think Indy should be on the card. It's her hometown. My only question is why the women's tag team championship only gets pre-show love. I mean, it's a fucking
Especially
title. It should get main card. Should get a spot on the main card. I mean,
especially
as far
since
as
the
I'm
main card
concerned.
only had 4 matches.
Yeah, exactly. And the Kabuki Warriors are a really good team. Like, say what you will about Indy
Mhm.
Hartwell and Candice LeRae, but I mean, that's Asuka and Kyrie saying like, so it is what it is.
So the
Let's see.
only
Dolores
thing,
said,
oh,
see,
go.
she was pissed. I got up and did a show.
Like, well, you were already up. I mean, you could have gone to sleep after New Japan, but yeah, I understand. I totally agree. But so not an excuse, just an explanation. They're doing the whole thing with Bailey, right? And I guess if you don't have the brain capacity, you can't do two. You can't promote two things at once. Even though it really isn't that hard to promote. Like you said, don't. I'm not. I don't mind that Indy was on the card. I mind that there wasn't a big enough build, right? Like easily before this gauntlet
Sure.
match, let Indy and Candace go through. Well, yeah, 4 teams and let them win, and then that'll be a great story. But and like just a little time. You just put 5 minutes to the side for these women tag team titles. They'll be so much better. Like this a little effort. Just a little more effort. That's all we're asking.
I
like
agree. I mean,
like Naomi and
the
Sasha
tag
said.
team.
Like Naomi and Sasha said. These should not be just a part of the women's heavyweight tag team story. These are titles. Let them have their own story. That was it.
They deserve better for sure, especially when you have two quality wrestlers. Excuse me, like Asuka and Kyrie Sane. I mean, they deserve better. So
Yeah.
hopefully, I keep hoping that now that certain people are gone and ownership has changed, that we'll get to see, some sort of a difference in philosophy. But again, here we are, it's Elimination Chamber, and these guys are opening the show on the pre card. So, okay, I guess it is what it is. Let's see. That moves us into the main card. And it opened up with the women's elimination chamber. And Sammy, I'm going to say fuck you because the whole time in the back of my head, I heard your fucking voice. Becky Lynch is going to win. Becky Lynch is going to win. Becky Lynch is going to win. And fucking Becky Lynch fucking won. And I was irritated the whole time. And so, yeah,
I
it is
voted
what it
for
is.
Liv.
Yes, but you kept saying Becky Lynch was going to win.
I knew everybody who was going to win on this card. I just didn't vote for him.
So, Becky Lynch got the win. Let's see. Naomi was the first person eliminated.
Boo.
What did you guys think about that?
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, right?
Definitely boo. I'm gonna let it play out because if it leads to her versus the Tiffany program and she wins the program, I bet I'm okay with that. Because Tiffany, it wasn't like she was a scrubbing teen in NXT. We knew she could go. I don't think people knew how over she was going to be in Australia though. And so, if this is Tiffany versus Naomi for her first ever official program, I'm okay with Naomi getting kicked out.
What's this going to be like the SmackDown after Mania?
I don't know. This feels tough with Naomi being eliminated first and by Tiffany Stratton, who, again, it feels like they're on different levels, right? And Naomi can be way up here and Tiffany way down here. So, this was a little rough for me. I don't know. I felt like they were kind of shitting on Naomi a little bit, but again, I don't know. I mean, people that stay in WWE or go back to WWE, they have their reasons, and she must be okay with this. Otherwise, she wouldn't be there doing it. I mean, she was just off doing something else, and she was a champion of another company. So, I mean, she had her options. She tested the waters. She saw what else was out there and decided to come back here and do this. So, if she's happy, she's happy. But it seems weird to me for her to be the first elimination and to Tiffany Stratton, who I feel like is on a level below her.
I mean, do you think that they'd put this match on Mania? Because I think that they'd put it on the SmackDown before, the SmackDown after.
Yeah, I don't think this is a Mania match. No, I'd be very
surprised. Mania match. Like off the top of my head, bring back the Andre the Giant Women's Battle Royal and let Naomi get her look back and eliminate Tiffany. Or like you said, any multi-woman match that I think they should have at Mania, whether it's a ladder match or a Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I do think they should have a multi-woman's match. I do think that. And then afterwards, let this be a program. That's why I'm gonna let it play out because I would rather have this be a story. That's where it leads me to. This has to be a story. If this just Tiffany eliminating Naomi, then I will gladly join with y'all. This piss off this tea. But if this is actually a program, an actual rivalry, I'm okay with that because Tiffany she can work, she can go, and I think it'll be beneficial for both of them. Probably more for Tiffany, but beneficial for both.
Yeah. Then, so Tiffany, let's see. So to make it worse, after Naomi was eliminated, the person that eliminated her was the next eliminated. Tiffany Stratton was eliminated second by Liv Morgan. And then Raquel Rodriguez was eliminated.
Yeah.
And then Becky Lynch.
So
I'm sorry. Then Bianca was eliminated, leaving. Go ahead.
No. Yeah. Oh no. You can continue. So yeah. And then
then I was gonna say Bianca was eliminated, basically last to leave Becky and Liv Morgan as the final two, and Becky got the win with the manhandle slam.
So in the Royal Rumble, Liv eliminated Bianca and then was immediately eliminated by Bayley for Bayley to win. In this, Liv eliminated. Wait, no, my bad. At the Rumble, Liv eliminated Jade, which then Bayley immediately eliminated Liv. In this, Liv eliminated Bianca, and then Bayley immediately eliminated Liv after. So in both instances, she took out the number 3 person and then was immediately taken out by the overall winner.
Okay, and let me say this. I'm not on social media like that, so I have to ask a question. So in the social media world, how over is Liv? Because no offense, when she came back in the Royal Rumble, ain't no one like her. But now all this little uproar of little girls talking about we want more for Liv. Shut up. I don't get it. I didn't get it 2 years ago. I didn't get it 1 year ago. I don't get it now. I
Yeah,
don't.
1 year ago, like she was pretty over, and
I
like
didn't get it then.
it feels weird for me because I was behind the Live hype, and then I stopped, and then like half a year later, then they were like, "All right, everybody's joining in on it," and I'm like, "Well, I already left. Y'all have fun with that."
It's like I don't get it, and I don't want her to be shoehorned in because now, all right, little mini break. They did a match on Raw. Becky Lynch interrupted because she wanted to get a look back, and then afterwards, Liv was like, "Everything's not about you," and they're like, "Well, Becky being over pushed." It's like, all right, let's time out. Let's time out here. This story has been in the making for the past 6 months. There's been inklings that we want this story to happen. This is not a Charlotte situation where there was no inklings, but a big nasty 78-year-old man just like Blonde said that here Charlotte should be in the ring. No.
I mean, the Liv story between Becky, the Liv story between. I mean, here's the thing: is that like her feuds with them have been going on for years now.
I get what you're saying, but she just came back from injury, right? She just came back from injury, so.
And who injured her?
It was real, but honestly, but that was it was by accident, and B, I freaking forgot what the freak the match was.
So it all starts back when Liv and Rhea were tag team champions.
And then, we're not going that back. No.
Rhea betrayed her, and then Liv.
No. Let's be no. If we're going to tell the story, tell it right. Liv said, "I think we should not be a tag team anymore," and no. Rhea said, respectfully, "I want to be a singles competitor." Liv went back crazy and became a heel. So if we're going to tell it right. And I get the whole. I remember the story, and then next year she's crying like a baby every time she go against Becky because this is my time, and I think I'm ready to go for it, and I'm gonna beat you for that time. Sorry, I can't.
And then when Liv becomes tag team champion again, then in comes Rhea and injures both her and her tag team partner.
But it's not enough. Okay, like for me, that's not enough heat to say yes. Put her in the women's world heavyweight title picture for WrestleMania. It's not. Please look like she is somewhat over. They're going to find a space for her, and she just got back. So let it gradually happen. This is me compromising.
She will be getting matches against Becky and Rhea, like, yes. Irregardless of who's the champion, who's not. She's going to have a match with each of them this year at pay-per-views, and I assume she's going to lose both. But she will have those pay-per-view matches against them.
And I'm fairly settled to know that, things will go according to plan. Nothing's going to be changed. But just on the off chance someone's like, "Hey, this is like Cody." It's not. It's not. Rhea versus Becky. And I don't. And let me be very clear. I don't like that it was very blatant. I would have loved if they had more stories going into the chamber, so it wouldn't be so obvious. But it was obvious. Here we are. let's get it popping.
Honestly, I could see the main event of Backlash being a fatal 5-way women's match for the Raw Women's Championship. Like, I'm not saying I want that, but I could definitely see WWE making a fatal 5-way being the main event with Nia, Raquel, Liv, Becky, and Rhea. Because they all have an intertwining story.
Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They all got issues with each other. Aside from Raquel and Becky, I don't think Raquel and Becky have issues with each other. But everybody else has issues with each other.
They don't.
Yeah.
I'll say this: as much as I don't like Liv, I don't get. As much as I don't get how over Liv is, that goes by time for Raquel. It's like,
oh, Raquel's not over, but like
they're pushing her though.
Yes.
They're trying to push her there, and it's like, if you're gonna push her, change something. You gotta change something.
Mean Girls reference, trying to make fetch a thing.
But please change something before you do it. Yeah. Okay.
So Becky Lynch wins the Women's Chamber and gets her shot at Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, which we'll preview obviously before WrestleMania happens. Real quick though, who do you think wins that match?
Rhea.
You think Rhea retains her title?
Always.
I don't know.
And when Rhea does lose that title, I'm going to be upset.
And that's kind of why I want Rhea versus Becky, because if it's Rhea versus Liv, heck no, Liv's not winning. But Rhea versus Becky, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't have an opinion until right that week before we do predictions. I get Tommy's on top, but Becky is Becky though.
I'd actually argue the opposite.
What?
Well, because for Liv, it would be a story of redemption and completing her story and Cody Rhodes and all that other nonsense. With Becky, she's Becky. So, like, yeah, she could win, but, like, also it doesn't really matter. And, like, her contract's running up. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, but nobody cares about Liv Morgan enough to care about her story and her comeback and all that. I mean,
I mean, that is all factually true. But I think that, like, Becky has, like, a 5% chance, and Liv would have like a 7% chance.
Wow, that's really low. You think Becky Lynch only has a 5% chance, huh?
I do.
Wow.
Interesting. Because I give her way more than that. I think
interesting.
Just like last year, and it was Rhea versus Charlotte, and it's Charlotte.
Yeah, but she's Rhea Bloody Ripley.
Yeah. So our next match was
and what happened to Charlotte? Rhea beat her.
Tag Team Championship.
The second time, not the first time. The second time.
Judgment Day. Damian Priest and Finn Balor champions versus New Catch Republic. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, we all knew. Like, as much as we love Pete Dunne, we all knew.
Wait. Side note. I'm not feeling this name. I don't like. It's not gelling well with me. New Catch Republic. Like,
how about NCR?
Even though, no, this is NCR. No. I felt like we could have come up with something better.
I think it'll grow on you.
Huh?
I think it's going to grow on you. I don't think you like it now, but half a year
I don't know why.
Well, because they don't have Trent Seven.
So?
The three of them is the group. Like, I mean, if you have Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, is that Undisputed Era?
Dance tour all the time with only like one original member and still use the name and sing the music. I mean, right? I mean,
you are not wrong. Like, I believe Leonard Skinner's still touring.
Yes, and all of them are dead, aren't they?
I don't know, but
right. No, I mean, I don't. It is what it is. The name needs a little work, but it's Pete Dunne, it's Tyler Bate, I didn't think that they were going to win. I was hoping they would win. I understand why Judgment Day won, and it is what it is.
And I think Dominic has a better chance of beating Gunther at Mania than New Catch Republic had a chance of winning this match.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
But only by like 2%.
Because I don't think Dom has any chance. But yeah, no, I think that's probably true. Only by like 2%.
But this, yeah.
Let's see. Anything you guys want to say about this match?
I love this. This might have been the match of the night. This match was great. And I hope that they don't put Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate on ice. I hope there's just on simmer until after WrestleMania, because we know it's going to be Judgment Day versus R-Truth. But I loved every part of that match. That was the match of the night for me. So I'm hoping that after WrestleMania they get everything squared away and maybe be the next tag team champions. That's how much I love them together.
If you've frequently watched this channel, you should know two things about me. One, I love tag team wrestling, and two, I like Joshi wrestling. Man, tag teams are my thing.
No, I mean, I thought this was a very fun match. This was
strong.
Instead of big strong boy, British strong boys. See, I feel like that's better than freaking New Catch Republic.
I think I agree with Anika. This is probably my favorite match of the night. All four of these guys are good wrestlers. I like the way Damian Priest works with smaller guys. I think he does a good job, has good chemistry with smaller guys as a bigger dude. And Finn Balor's Finn Balor, right? So, and we all love Trent Seven and whatchamacallit. Or not Trent Seven, I apologize.
Tyler Bate.
Wow. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. So, I mean, I can't say enough about both of them. So,
WWE.
I hope they get a long run.
Have a working relationship with TNA. Use it, and bring us Trent Seven.
I hope we get a nice long run with New Catch Republic with a better name, but as a good tag team, and like I said, hopefully they get the titles, and it would be nice to see them with the title run. So,
although if they did that, then we'd have people complaining about 6-man tag matches.
Yes,
well, no.
We should.
That'll be something new for WWE. It's not new for us, but for WWE, it'll be fairly new.
I guess we should talk about it because it happened at Elimination Chamber, but I really don't want to give it any time, even though I enjoy many of the participants that took place in this shitty-ass segment. Don't really want to talk about it, but we got Cody Rhodes, we got Seth Rollins, we got Grayson Waller, we got Austin Theory, all ultimately in the ring at the same time. In what ended up being a bizarre thing. I didn't care for it, unfortunately. I like Austin Theory. I like all these guys in a vacuum separately, well, except for Cody. Separately. What do you think about this kind of weird alliance between Cody and Seth? First of all, about this segment and this weird alliance between Cody and Seth against Austin Theory and Grayson Waller at the end, kind of.
This has to end with Seth betraying Cody at Mania.
I would agree with that.
Because, look at what we're working with here. Seth wanted Cody. Seth needed to redeem himself against Cody. Cody's always focused about his story. What about Seth's story? He lost 3 times to Cody. He's been trying to carry the company on his back. He broke his back trying to carry the company, trying to make that title as important as Roman's. And then Cody slaps him in the face with, I've beat you 3 times. I don't need to beat you a 4th. I want Roman's belt. Your belt don't matter. Cody's focused on his story. Seth has a story too. And it will be told.
I wouldn't mind that. But the Cody crybabies have already altered the trajectory of what WrestleMania 40 is going to be. So I'm not going to.
We'll let them cry.
You say that, you say that, and hey, I agree with you, right? I agree with you 100%. But I won't. Right
Listen,
now,
I'm all for letting them have the match, but that doesn't dictate what the outcome should be. Let the match happen and let the result happen.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. But right now, I'm here for the ride because right now I'm drained. I don't have the capacity to go against these alleged crackheads like that anymore. I don't. So it's like, whatever. You know what? You already took away my Roman versus Rock match. Whatever will be, will be. And hey, allegedly, but yeah, whatever it will be, right? And actually, it's a decent story. But for this segment, I think baseline is right. Rock and Roman was coming. Roman was definitely never coming. No matter what was happening, Roman was never coming. And even though the government paid for this pay-per-view to happen, you still needed more stars. Yes, you had two elimination chambers
Mm-hmm.
in Rhea, but it felt like, yeah, this is your first time doing this in Australia. You need more big stars. So this was basically an excuse to have two of your biggest stars be on the show.
I thought we were going to get AJ Styles versus LA Knight.
Yeah.
So now I'm assuming that's a
We-
Mania match. Since it
which
didn't
we
happen
did
here.
kind of. We'll talk about it. We did get that a little bit.
Yeah.
But since that
Directly.
match did not happen here, I'm assuming that's a Mania match. That means we
It
will
is
not
now.
be getting LA Knight versus Logan Paul. So who is Logan Paul going to face?
Well, we will talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a lot. I still think there's nothing in stone. We'll talk about that later. But I will say, side note, everything happens for a reason. I know Bronson Reed really wanted to go to his hometown to be here, right? And they said it was supposed to be him versus Seth, but Seth got hurt, which sucks. But his wife had the baby early. So all in all, thank God you were where you were supposed to be to witness the birth of your child. So it's like, you know what? That's a very, very soft cushion to fall back on.
I thought it was other way around with that, where they didn't write him into the Elimination Chamber match because he was expecting the baby, but the baby came before the match.
No. So no. It was supposed to be before because I think everyone thought that he was going to be in the
But
elimination.
they didn't put him in because the baby was coming. But then the baby came before the pay-per-view.
No. Because after that, he did a promo. And the promo was like, I'm gonna get to Perth another way. And it was supposed to be him versus Seth, but Seth got like remember this tournament got this review was months in advance. And no, it was supposed to be him versus Seth. And Seth got hurt and his baby came early. Don't know how early, but his baby came early. So all in all, like I said, things happen for a reason, and thank God you're where you're supposed to be. There's always next year.
Yep, there's always next year. Your family comes first always, and that that explains why he wasn't in there. And I was disappointed that he wasn't in there, but that explains it, and all the better for them for doing what they did and letting him have the time to go do whatever he has to do and all that kind of stuff. So let's see.
I mean, we had Bobby, so at least we did have a big man in the match.
There were a lot of big men.
I mean, Bobby was the big man, and behind him is Drew.
Yeah. Like, go ahead, ALW.
I was saying that brings us to the third match of the night, which was the men's elimination chamber match.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised that the Rhea ended up being the main event and that the men went third, or no?
No.
Not surprised at all. Rhea Bloody Ripley, I mean, she's over in the States, and the pop for her there was even better. I didn't think it could be any better, but that was a tremendous crowd.
You didn't want to have a Bad Bunny moment, right? Where you shot your load too soon, right? So
Exactly.
here we go. We're at the end. We're put our Australian megastar right up there on the and yeah.
Yeah.
So men's elimination chamber kicks off with LA Knight and Drew McIntyre at 1 and 2. Everyone else in a pod. Let's see. I'm Kevin Owens. I believe was the first guy in the ring. So we got those three. And then I believe Bobby Lashley was the fourth guy in the ring. Is that right?
I think
Um,
you're right.
and then Bobby was the first guy eliminated by Drew. What do you guys think about Bobby being eliminated first and by Drew?
Those two have quite the history.
They do, don't they?
And I didn't hear this part, but shame on you, Drew. So on SmackDown, it was basically it was Street Profits versus AOP. Uh, Karrion and Drew got into a little scuffle. Sorry, Karrion and Bobby Lashley got into a little scuffle. He hit Bobby Lashley with a chair. They're in the back getting. They're in the back medical. The medical facility. They're in the back, right? In the doctor's office. Freaking Drew comes out and says, "I'ma pray for you." I can't stand this. I can't. You're playing a perfect victim, but you need to calm down. Someone needs to beat you. I need rectification right now. You punk.
Hey, uh, I like it. I like it.
I like it.
No, he's being an awesome heel. But no. Someone needs to, no, you need to get beat. Don't nobody.
So
You need to get beat.
Bobby's eliminated. LA Knight is fighting with Drew, and before you know it, Orton comes in from the pod, and then before you know it, AJ Styles is in the ring, and he attacks LA Knight with the chair, and ultimately hits LA Knight with a Styles clash, and McIntyre pins LA Knight to eliminate LA Knight and has his second elimination. Drew has eliminated two guys at this point, and LA Knight is eliminated. Obviously, this is what I was saying earlier. We did get a little bit of AJ Styles versus LA Knight here. Not that LA Knight had a chance to really respond because AJ just hit him with a chair and then whatever. But yeah, I assume this becomes a WrestleMania match, right? Night 1, night 2. Where do you think this ends up on the card? What do you think?
Did not see this coming because I think someone was like, "How petty are you? You don't have a match and nothing. So you got on a plane for a whole day and just to be in the second. They hit LA Knight with a chair. I
Uh,
I can see how people think this is gonna be a one-on-one match. I still think we have options, and I'll talk about my options later.
I'm really thinking about who's going after the mid card titles at Mania, because like
Mm-hmm. So AJ, ALW, keep going. Yeah, because we're in the same wavelength. Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So LA Knight was eliminated. Then we get Kevin Owens in the ring. Ultimately, Logan Paul in the ring. I think
Wait, stop.
everybody's.
This is probably the best part for me. Elimination Chamber. As right before Logan's pod comes up, so, Chaos is right there in the front, and it's like no, it's like that's probably the most brutal part of the match. He was just battering Logan Paul in between the freaking. I love that. That was a horror film for comedians. It was
KO trying to rip the pod door open and Logan trying to hold it closed.
it was
last year Theory had that spot.
Yeah, it was definitely that same spot. Yeah.
it was so good.
So I think at this point everybody's in the ring, and then Kevin Owens is eliminated next by Orton, and that leaves Orton, McIntyre, and Paul. And Paul ultimately gets eliminated by Randy Orton with an RKO.
RKO out of nowhere.
Exactly. Leaving Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. the final two. What do you think about these two being the final two?
I
And Drew ultimately getting the win.
I voted for Drew. I mean, my bad. I voted for Orton. I assumed Drew was going to win, but I voted for Orton just on the off chance. And so the people who I voted for Liv and I voted for Orton. And both of them were in the final two.
The final two.
I love how they structured this. This was perfectly structured on who got eliminated at what time. I have no bones on who got eliminated, right? So let's talk about it, right? The ending for no. So okay, I have a gripe. I don't know how the elimination chamber works, but I feel as though when you get eliminated, you leave, the door closes. For some reason, Logan is still on the flow, selling this RKO for a very long time. And there's refs, right? I feel like the refs like, hey, wake up, you got eliminated, get out. But no, he's still in the freaking chamber to freaking use the brass nuts to hit Randy, and so Drew can have the win. I'm like, no. Like, I know it's not Hell in a Cell, but you have a door. So, okay, I have two gripes. Number one, how did AJ get in the chamber? And how did freaking Logan Paul still stay in the chamber? Going back to 2010, where my baby HBK had to hide underneath the ring to get into the chamber to cause Undertaker the match in the belt. But oh no, these two people just sporadically, just easily up in the chamber. I need to change the rules. Either get a better lock or change the rules. Because that perplexes me a little bit. But now let's talk about it.
I agree with both of those. What do you guys think of Logan Paul going off the top of the pod?
I think for both of us, I think you agree, Sammy. We thought that, okay, Logan's gonna be in here. He's gonna do some crazy stuff. I don't think he did anything so crazy. Like, he did the one.
Also, that chamber hurts a lot.
Oh yeah. No. I remember, if you remember the backstage show with Renee on FS1. I think two people said they could not stand the chamber because it hurt. It was Mark Henry and someone else. They're like, no, I didn't want to do the chamber. The chamber is the most, it hurts. We do not like this contraption.
Like, even when you're doing a move onto somebody, it hurts you.
Yeah.
Like, the moment your knees just hit the metal panels, like,
I mean, he could definitely prove that he can wrestle as well, but he's definitely become known, or is becoming known, for doing the big spot too, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's kind of what he's becoming known for. So, and he had the big spot off the top of the pod. You know, Drew gets the win here. I guess it was fairly predictable. I mean, I don't really like Logan Paul, and so I'm concerned that him outlasting LA Knight, and I understand that LA Knight was eliminated by AJ Styles, so it was a little bit, or not eliminated, but ultimately was taken out by AJ Styles. He wasn't in the match, so it was a little, whatever. But the fact that Logan Paul is one of the final three before LA Knight or Kevin Owens, I just get concerned that WWE is going to push him too much, and I'm not a big fan, so it is what it is. Like I said, I guess it's fairly predictable that Drew was going to get the win too. I think it was a little less predictable than Becky, but I think it was fairly predictable.
I mean, I think he's losing that title at Mania, so, like, how big of a push is that?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I hope so, but we'll have to see. I mean, I guess it'll tell us, right?
So, United States Championship match. Yeah. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton.
So here's the thing, right? If you haven't watched Raw after Elimination Chamber,
I have not yet.
A lot of stuff is built, like we're putting the pieces in play for the mid card at Mania, right?
Want me to name off the names?
No.
Talk about it.
So, as of right now on Raw, basically, without giving it away, they're trying to select who's going to be Gunther's opponent, and it feels as though it's going to be a multi-man match. And for me, it's like, I think we're having this backwards. I feel as though y'all should just have one person for Gunther and have the multi-man match for the United States Championship with Logan Paul. And I'm not gonna permanently say it's going to be a singles match. I think it's still up in the air. They could still do a ladder match with Logan Paul's championship, and it can be and for people who will be have Randy in it, have KO in it, LA Knight and AJ Styles. And if you want, if you just need it's gonna be Logan Paul. That's fine. We just want another body.
So, the Royal Rumble again, but swap Roman Reigns for Logan Paul.
No. Ladder match. No, not a 4-way. Do a ladder match. I think a ladder match works better in everyone's favor. Most definitely. People can work faster in a ladder match. And if you want to, you can add Santos in there for an extra body if you want to, just in case. I think I prefer that more than just Randy versus Logan. And it was enticing. It was enticing when Logan hit Randy in the chamber, but it's not enticing enough for me, especially when all of us was really hyped for Logan versus LA Knight. I think if you pull a poll in the majority, I think people still want LA Knight versus Logan Paul. So I would prefer a ladder match with those 5 guys rather than a 1-on-1, 2 1-on-1 matches.
I agree with that.
I was thinking of something the other day. I'm on the record saying I think LA Knight is winning Money in the Bank this year. But I was thinking it could be Sammy.
I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that at all.
All right. So Gunther, you have all right. So Dominic Mysterio, R-Truth, The Miz, they were named. We had I'm spacing on his name.
James
El Idolo.
Andrade.
Yeah.
Andrade.
Cien Almost.
Yeah. And there was another. Oh yeah, Sammy.
And Chad Gable.
Oh, and Chad Gable. So quite a few names, and who's it going to be? We don't know. I don't think they know. We're going to find out.
Yeah. But I don't want a man for Gunther. I don't think that's his vibe. I don't think Gunther's ever done a multi-man match besides the Royal Rumble.
Well, he did Survivor Series if you want to count that, but he was the first eliminated.
So yeah, that don't count. Yeah, I don't count that. So yeah, I don't think. I'm not saying Gunther can't do it. I don't want to see that for Gunther's intercontinental title.
Why don't we just do a
way for him
tournament?
to lose it and be protected? I mean, but
why don't we do an 8-man elimination tournament?
And on Wrestle Talk, they're talking about that. I wouldn't mind that, especially we have a full month before WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good gauntlet. A good gauntlet can heat someone up in an instant.
Well, a gauntlet is all in one night. I was saying you got a couple weeks, do 2 matches each week. Boom, 7 matches are done in time for Mania.
Either way, yeah, definitely. Like I said, you have 39 days. So either way, use that space wisely. I think to use the 30 days, I will go with you. I'll go with what you're saying, Sammy. Have probably a tournament in crown
7 matches. It's 7 matches, and we name a number 1 contender.
Yeah.
So,
yes, it is.
Who do you think is most likely to be facing Gunther at WrestleMania for the title?
Probably Andrade.
I think if I had to put money on it right now, Sammy.
Sammy?
I think Sammy. Yeah.
Interesting.
To the caliber match, yeah, that would work.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Drew versus Seth at WrestleMania? Obviously, as WrestleMania gets closer, we'll have a preview show. But right now, what do you think about Drew and Seth at WrestleMania?
We knew it was going to happen, right? I'm not hating it. I think my trouble is because it feels like Seth is going to help Cody, right? How is that going to tie into this story?
Is he?
As of right now, he's acting like he's going. So okay, I'll say this: Self has inserted himself into this bloodline storyline, right? So I guess, and it was a great promo on Raw with Drew and Self about that situation. So I guess it really does matter of how much time you're going to give to just Self and Drew versus Drew.
But they're going to be on night 1, right? And Roman's on night 2, so
it should be, yeah. But like there's talks going around. They're going to do a tag team match with Seth and Cody versus Roman and Rock maybe night 1.
What if we get a double turn?
and then you get Seth and Drew and Roman on not you know what I mean, but the 2 matches both on night 2.
See, it's like that's stuff. Things are not set in stone.
What if we get a double turn?
Roman's wrestling both nights. You think Roman's wrestling both nights?
Yes.
With the Rock and the tag team night on night 1, and then against Cody on night 2.
Yes.
Ooh.
I do.
Spicy.
I think that they're paying him main event dollars for both nights. I think he's making bank come that weekend.
And do you think Seth and Drew are on night 1 or on night 2?
Night 2.
Night 2.
I would put them. See, that's the thing.
I think that they open night 2 and Cody and Roman close night 2.
Ooh.
I would, if we're going to do a turn with Seth for trading Cody, I would think there'll be a night 1. Like, let Drew beat Seth, and then Seth gets pissed off and betray Cody night 2.
Here's what I was thinking. So Cody starts the match, and then when he goes to tag Seth, Seth jumps off the apron. Seth walks away. And so Cody's having to do the match by himself, and then like 3/4 of the way through the match, then Drew comes down. Cody tags him in.
No, Drew.
We have a double turn. We haven't had a double turn at WrestleMania in quite a while.
As of right now, there's no redemption for Drew right now. He can't be a babyface right now. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I want to cheer him. I honestly want to cheer him.
Well, you know, Punk still haters, and rightfully so. I can understand, but you can't tell everyone I'm gonna pray for you, and you're telling Jay you got what you deserve, or no, that's right. You deserve it. Like no. There's no redemption for you. No.
He didn't deserve it. He earned it.
Same difference.
Again, we'll do predictions and we'll have a preview before WrestleMania. But just real quick, who do you think wins, Seth or Drew?
Drew.
Seth is taking time off, so it has to be Drew.
I think Drew's going to win here finally in front of fans.
Not even that, but
it just sucks that it's going to be him as a heel.
No, I think you can rock it. More so with Seth. You put in that work, baby. But that it's been you making the belt prestigious.
Has he? Cody still chose Roman.
No, I'm saying that was a curse of have you made that in that year 9 months run of you being champ. The prestige on the belt is not as shiny as we want it to be. And I think Drew being champion can make it a heck of a lot shinier in a way faster time.
I'm ready for Rubber Chicken Part 2. The middle chapter of Cody Rhodes.
So that brings us to the main event of Elimination Chamber. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. What?
You forgot Bloody.
They're not saying that. They're not announcing that, but I'm waiting for it every time.
Sorry, like Rhea Bloody Ripley and Nia Whole Jax. How's that?
No.
Nia My Whole Jax. How's that?
Lana is the best.
Let me tell you.
Let
me tell you. Rhea's been in a lot of matches. Rhea has been champion for a while now. Mm-hmm. She's defended the belt well. For me personally, this is the match that really puts Rhea over. I really thought this match, she took a beating, a fucking beating, and still won. I don't. She fucking picked her up and slammed her when I didn't think she would. That elbow through the announce table that Nia gave her, I thought Rhea was dead, dude. Like I thought literally like she had crushed her sternum. Like, and I was here for it. Don't get me wrong. Like I like Rhea, but I love Nia. Nia's my girl. So like I'm always gonna root for Nia Jax. But I'm glad Rhea did get the win. She should get the win here. She did get the win. And for me, this was her biggest defense for sure. And one of my favorite matches of Rhea's career so far, honestly.
I mean, honestly, like every match that Rhea has had, aside from that one multi-woman match in Saudi Arabia, has been incredible. Like, just looking back at it, like Zelina Vega in Puerto Rico, like I struggle to think of a match that Rhea had that I didn't love.
This is true. But I would also say this is probably not Jax's best match ever too. Like they both put in great work. I hope, don't know how Nia gets on the WrestleMania card, but she also deserves to be on that card as well. But yeah, this was, again, we knew the outcome, but it was worth the watch. This was great.
You know, it's really funny when you think about it. So the Raw titles, you got Seth having knockout, blow away, match of the year classics. You have Gunther having, match of the year classics. You have Rhea doing the best I've seen in quite a while for the women's division, it feels. And then SmackDown, you have the opposite spectrum of it, where you have the shenanigan matches, where Roman's getting people involved. Logan's getting people involved in using brass knuckles. And then you have Io with damage control, which, I mean, come on. Like,
okay, so
the brands are very much split.
I'll say this. You said there's not one Rhea match. Her versus Raquel was slow. Her.
That was Raquel's best match.
But it was still slow. I preferred.
It wasn't Rhea's best match, but it was Raquel's.
I preferred Bianca, Charlotte, and Io triple threat over that one. I will say that.
No, that was Asuka.
Asuka, I'm sorry, my bad. And Io cashed in.
Mm-hmm.
I preferred that one over Rhea versus Raquel, honestly.
Yeah. Bianca was champ for all of 45 seconds.
Yeah. To get her look back.
So the final shot of WWE Elimination Chamber is Rhea Ripley standing tall with her makeup running down her face and the title in her hand, as we should. No Dom in the picture, so I'm okay with that. And yeah. So
come on, you need to warm up to Dom. You need to warm up to Dom. He hates Ray as much as you do.
No, I like Dom. I'm just kidding. I actually like Dom. I don't have a problem with Dom per se. I like Dom. I think he's good. I think he just needs more work in the ring. That's my only complaint about Dom.
And you hate his
dad. Let's see. So then I apologize real quick. So after Elimination Chamber, we had new winners for Elimination Chamber. We had dual winners. I'm going to have to show them separately because whatever, but we had a tie. It was Miss Dolores and it was Miss Anika. So Sammy was champ for about 24 hours. And then Dolores and Anika took the WWN or Workhorse Predictions title from him.
Very
short reign. Very short reign.
Like, it's been a long time since we've had one that, like, there was no, like, usually they like to surprise you to, be like, oh,
very predictable.
It was
very predictable Elimination Chamber. Overall, what'd you guys think of it? Give it a grade.
It wasn't great. It was good. No swerves.
Or a star. Or, out of 4 horses, what do you think? 4 horses. How many horses you give it?
3 1/4.
80%.
80%.
So,
okay. Yeah, I mean, I like 3. I think about 3 and then 3 1/4. I like that. That's pretty good number.
Wasn't worth getting up at 5:30, but when I got up and got some breakfast, it was a nice Saturday morning.
I definitely would have been pissed if I had got up at 1 o'clock in the morning and watched it, or 2 o'clock in the morning and watched it.
I stayed up to watch it.
So were you unhappy? Were you disappointed?
I was tired.
All right. So last but not least, we'll wrap this up with a preview of AEW Revolution. As of the card, as of now, we obviously have a Dynamite coming up this Wednesday, which will be the go-home show. We'll have a Rampage and a Collision because Revolution's on Sunday, I believe. So technically we'll have one more week of shows before, but as of now, we'll do a quick little uh, preview, I guess. Sammy's got the matches as of now, so he'll go and give them to us, and
All right.
we can go ahead and talk about them.
FTR versus the BCC.
Claudio and Mox. Yeah, I mean,
BCC.
I'm here for it always. I'm here for this. I mean, I like this. I was saying to Anika on Aftermath of Dynamite that Moxley kind of reminds me a lot of Stone Cold. He just
People have been saying that for years.
The aggressiveness with which he wrestles and just the way he carries himself and the posture and all that stuff. So
the readiness to just flip people off.
Well, that too. I think this will be this could be the match of the night. It definitely has all the ingredients to be match of the night.
It's got Claudio
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We'll have to see how it turns out, but I'm here for it. If it's anything like their first match, I'm or the last match, I guess. I'm here for it.
I mean, honestly, like this entire card's filled with matches that feel like, that could be match of the night.
Yeah, that's often how AEW feels for me.
All right, we got the Meat Madness match: Wardlow versus Powerhouse Hobbs versus Lance Archer. Now, personally, I'm of the mind of I kind of want the Butcher to go out there and just slaughter them all, but that's not going to happen, I don't think. So I'd probably go with Wardlow because I feel like they want to push him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, storyline wise, and to get the Undisputed Kingdom back to where they're supposed to be, it should be Wardlow. Even though if it's Hobbs, I would be all for it.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be Wardlow story wise because Undisputed Kingdom and they're pushing Wardlow. But I mean, Lance Archer's obviously not winning here. The second most likely is obviously whatchamacallit. Why am I drawing a blank on his name at the moment? The other contestant, Hobbs. And his stuff with the Callis family feels like it's whatever enough to I guess he can get the win, but I assume it's going to be Wardlow here. It's got to be because Undisputed Kingdom is definitely the big story at the moment, right? So,
or it should be. All right, next on the card.
Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia.
Oh, jeez.
It's gonna be Christian. I love Daniel, but yeah, it's gonna be Christian.
Christian retains. Here's my only wonder. I wonder if somehow he ends up convincing another person to come to the patriarchy. Like, I don't necessarily want to see Daniel Garcia in the vortex again of another big star where he's just kind of in the background like he was with Jericho, because I think he's gotten a lot of ground on his own recently. But I don't know, there's something about Daniel Garcia with the patriarchy that kind of perks my ears a little bit. That kind of sounds like that might be fun.
That's a crazy thing now that I think about it. Of how many groups have tried poaching Daniel Garcia?
Right.
Yeah.
It's been a couple.
Lots of groups. Yeah. So, but I think Christian wins this match. I assume Christian wins, as he should. I think he's the patriarchy is one of the hottest stories in AEW. Christian Cage is on fire. So
I think this will become a feud where they're going to be having 6-man tag matches, and where Christian is going to have his son. Daniel Garcia is going to have his new daddy in Adam Copeland.
Interesting. Interesting.
But yeah, Christian Cage
Yeah,
is coming. But
I
Adam
mean, I can
Copeland's
see
going to
that.
come out and rescue Daniel Garcia after the
Interesting.
match.
Interesting. How long? Okay, so real quick, just a little side segment. How long? How much longer do you think we have Adam Copeland wrestling, and when do you think, and how do you think we ultimately get to another Edge and Christian run? Because we've got to get there, right? I mean, we've got to have that one more time. So,
I say
question
we have
becomes:
him until his wheels fall off. Like,
I mean, you think he's willing to wrestle? I mean, how much longer do you think he actually
I
wants
mean,
to
he's
wrestle?
not wrestling every week.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, Christian Cage doesn't wrestle every week, and Christian Cage is wrestling more than Adam Copeland.
this
As
is true.
a draw, like people are coming to see Adam Copeland, I would give it 2 years, maybe 3.
I mean, Daniel Bryan already announced his last year, right? I mean, he's going to retire. So, I mean, and Edge is older. I
Dustin's
mean,
still
Adam Copeland's
going.
older. Yeah, that's true. This is true. Uh, I guess it all just depends on where you're at in life, but no, I guess it'll be interesting to see.
And here's the thing is that Brian's leaving because his family wants him to, not because he wants to.
Sure. Yeah. No. I mean, Yeah.
And I'm assuming he's still going to be there, just backstage,
Right.
running things instead of
Sure.
breaking arms.
Right. All right. What's next?
We got Takeshita versus Osprey, another match of the night contender, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I
I got to
agree.
put my money on Osprey, but I could definitely see the Don Callis family costing Osprey the win, and then that causes friction with Osprey and the family, and then Osprey leaves the family, and it leads to this big feud.
I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
that,
Go ahead.
but this is Osprey's first official match on as a AEW roster member. I don't think he should lose. So
And Don costs him his first debut match as an official roster member, and
I do
he's
like
not
that
going to take it
storyline.
back.
I guess the question becomes, does he do it intentionally or is it on accident? I mean, is it like he attempts to, I don't know, accidentally gets involved somehow trying to coach both men or something? Or does he turn on Osprey? I mean, what do you think? How would it work?
What if Fletcher's the one that causes it?
Ooh, interesting. Interesting.
like
Interesting.
this is why it sucks, because if we would have built to this properly, I would love for all that to happen. But because it's the first time we're getting Osprey as an official AEW member, I wouldn't do it just now. Like if you would give me this 2 months of build for that, and he already had his first official match on pay-per-view as an AEW roster member, I would be like, yeah, sure, let's go for it. But nah, not right now.
Yeah, I mean, Will Ospreay perhaps is the best wrestler on the planet at the moment, and I don't think he's losing to Takeshita at AEW Revolution. But I mean, if you really wanted to push Takeshita, what better way to do that is to give him a win over Ospreay? I guess the question becomes: does Ospreay really work with the Callis family, or is he better on the out, on his own? And if he's better on his own, then how do you get him away from the Callis family? And that's one potential way to do it: is to either have Don Callis turn on him directly, or have him indirectly somehow cost him the match and piss Ospreay off enough to say "fuck you guys" or whatever.
I mean,
Cause a big enough rift. I mean,
Takeshita's like beating everybody. He's beating Omega. He's beating Jericho. Like Osprey's next on the list.
yeah. No, I mean, I definitely, and he's been cooled down a little bit. I can't remember the last big win Takeshita got on a big show at this moment in time. I mean, I think he's been cooled down a little bit.
Well, it's
So it's
basically every pay per view. That's the thing,
yeah,
is that like he's not really doing much on the week to week show, but on the pay per view, he beats somebody real big named.
right. So I mean, I guess I could see that, but I assume Ospreay, like Anika said, it's his first AEW, and he's the greatest wrestler on the planet at the moment.
My
So I assume he's got to win.
my sane mind says Osprey, but my insane mind's like, well, it's CHK booking, so who knows?
This is true. This is true. All right, what's next?
Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson. And if Danielson
Ooh.
loses, he has to shake Kingston's hand.
Oh man, I this is a tough one for me because I'm a huge fan of both of these guys, right? But I'm a real Eddie Kingston mark. I mean, I'm a stan for Eddie Kingston, and as much as it was great to see him win a title in New Japan and to win a title in AEW and to win the Collision or the C2, um, getting a handshake from Bryan Danielson might be better than all those things if you actually beat him in a match. So.
I think moment of the night's going to happen with this. I got Bryan Danielson winning, and then
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson extending out his hand for Eddie Kingston to shake after he just beat Eddie Kingston and took his titles.
So he's going to shake his hand.
No, that's going to piss
Oh.
off Eddie even worse.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Yeah, this could be moment of the night. This could another match of the night candidate, in my opinion, just because of the emotion and the people involved. Anytime Bryan Danielson's involved, it's always potential match of the night. And Eddie Kingston, it's Eddie. So um, I imagine Bryan Danielson wins here. I just think that he's the better wrestler when it really boils down to it. He'll probably get the win. But God, I would love to see Eddie get the win here.
Either way, I'm going to be a happy camper.
I agree.
Next
anything
up.
you want to say or no?
Oh.
No?
Sorry, say it again.
Oh, I was just asking if you had any comment on Danielson Kingston.
Oh, I was muted. Sweet Jesus. Um, but yeah, definitely let Eddie win. That was all.
That was all. All right. What's
I'm
next?
going Danielson with moment of the night of Eddie getting more pissed off than he's ever been. All right, next up, we got Sting and Darby versus Matthew and Nicholas. AEW World Tag Team Championship match.
And Sting's final match.
Sting's retirement match. And so, honestly, I'm split 50-50. Like, the Young Bucks are top 5 tag team in the world. But also, Sting and Darby are undefeated. And it's Sting's retirement match. And Sting could go his entire AEW career without taking a single loss.
I'm in the same boat. I am very debated on. I know I get it. That's how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to put the younger talent over, but it didn't have to be that way.
But that younger talent is the executive vice presidents of AEW.
Like, I don't mind us breaking that rule. I really don't, especially for your very, very last match in the wrestling company. And then you add in Ric Flair. And I don't if he's going to be in the Young Bucks, this is Sting's last match. Do you really want to end this by betraying Sting? Or do you want to do a double turn and help Sting win?
Yes.
I think that'll be a great way to go out.
Well,
yeah, I assume Ric Flair goes out helping Sting. I think he turns on the Young Bucks and helps Sting.
But it is Ric Flair. And Ric Flair could see it as, well, I don't want to go yet. I want to do more stuff.
Yeah, that is true too. I can't imagine there's any way Sting doesn't win in his final match. It's going to be very interesting to see. I guess my question becomes, what do they do with the titles if they win? And Sting doesn't wrestle anymore. Is Darby just going to get a new partner? Can he just go in the locker room and pick anybody he wants, or is there going to be a little tournament to see who becomes his partner, or does he have to give him up? Or
Vacant returns as champion in AEW. You know what vacant being champion means? We get a tournament.
There you go.
So a tag team tournament.
A tag team tournament. So I guess Darby.
Here's my money. Take it. Take it.
He'll defend them both himself. He'll defend both titles himself, both belts himself. So I don't know. We'll have to see what ends up happening. But let me just say, I'm here for Matthew and Nicholas.
Mhm.
That's hysterical to me. So that's one of the funniest things going in AEW at the moment. All right, what's
Oh,
next?
they're
Sammy?
gonna win, aren't they? And then they're gonna lord it over everyone. Oh, we were the only team in the history of AEW that could actually beat Sting.
Yep.
Oh God.
Yep. And
Okay,
they'll
I'm
be
going
even
with Matthew
cockier.
Nicholas. I'm going with Matthew
Matthew Nicholas.
Nicholas. Oh boy. Oh
All
boy.
right, what's next?
All right, we got Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong,
Oh my
which
God.
Orange Cassidy has no friends left. They're all on the shelf now.
With as much as they're pushing the Undisputed Kingdom and Roderick Strong's over at the moment, if they don't fucking take that belt off of Orange Cassidy and put it on Roderick Strong, I'm going to fucking lose my shit. I mean,
Agreed. Like everything's aligned for Roderick to win. If Roderick loses here when everything is in his favor,
What the freak are we doing?
What are we doing? Exactly. Thank you very much. And I believe even though he's over and whatever, it feels like Orange Cassidy is a little cold as champion at the moment. He just is. I mean, that's my feeling about
he
it.
needs vacation.
Yeah. All right. What else is next?
Like I thought Orange Cassidy was going to take a vacation half a year ago.
Yeah.
Stop having Moxley talk to Orange Cassidy. Okay.
Right.
Don't be getting your life advice from. Well, I mean, Mox has gotten better over the years, but like Mox needs a vacation too. Mox needed a vacation 3 years ago.
Well, there's that. All right. What
All
else?
right. AEW Women's World Championship match: Timeless Tony Storm versus the Virtuosa Donna Purrazzo.
It's Tony Storm.
Yeah, Tony Storm.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Storm's got to win just because she's so over at the moment, and this whole timeless thing is hitting on all cylinders. But Deonna Purrazzo is such a good wrestler. Like, you can never rule her out. And just, I mean, I don't know. I hate betting against her just because she's such a good wrestler. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be Tony at this point.
And no TBS title match. So we move on to the AEW World Championship match. It is Samoa Joe, Hangman Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland. Whose house?
Swerve's house.
It's got to be, right?
I mean, it's got to be.
This is Swerve's moment, right?
But there is a situation.
It's not.
Swerve being laid out but conscious and able to see what's happening. Samoa Joe has Hangman in the Kukina clutch, and then you have Hangman look at Swerve and acknowledge that even though he's losing, he's making sure Swerve doesn't win.
That I like that, but all in all, I'm still having fun as Samoa Joe being my champion.
Yeah. How petty is Hangman Page? That's the question. Because if he wants to be the king of petty, Samoa Joe wins.
Unhinged, petty. Well, all in all, I do believe that Swerve and Heyman are going to be each other's first enemy. I'm tired as hell.
I know.
They're going to be both of y'all's worst enemy. So whatever happens, it's going to be the other person's fault. 75% more chance that it's going to be Hangman's fault that he doesn't win. But either way, my money's on my forever champion. Well, not forever champion, but right now my best champion, Samoa Joe.
My heart says Swerve, but I'm going with my mind, Samoa Joe.
Here's the thing, right? Like, I love Joe. I absolutely love Joe, and he's my favorite of the three guys in this match, no doubt about it. But for me, it feels like Swerve's at that same spot that Roderick Strong's at. He's so hot at the moment. If you don't do it here, you're missing the boat. Like, Swerve needs to win and be the champion here. Maybe not at the expense of Samoa Joe, at the expense of Hangman Page. He gets the pin on Hangman somehow because Joe's whatever, and that way Joe stays somewhat protected, and maybe Joe and Swerve have a singles match after Swerve has the title. But Swerve needs to be the champion here at this point.
I think this turns into a situation of where Swerve realizes he's got to put Hangman out if he wants to, because Hangman is continuing to stand in his way, preventing him from accomplishing his dreams. And I think this is going to make it the swell of support for Swerve even bigger than it already is. Because I think Swerve is the next champion. Well, actually, it might end up being Wardlow.
Yeah.
Don't say that. I don't want to hear that.
Because
Are there any
because
more match?
because of
Are
the
there any more
Kingdom
matches on the
story,
card?
and then Swerve beats Adam Cole. Whenever Adam Cole comes back, gets the title, Swerve beats Adam Cole. That might be it. But then it could also be Adam Cole and MJF. I
I
don't
think Swerve
know.
wins at Revolution,
I,
and we'll see what happens after that.
okay, yes.
As of
Let's go
right
with
now,
that idea. I'm going to say Samoa Joe.
yeah.
I don't know what the plan is in the future, but there's so many options that AEW can go with. And I'm enjoying the ride where it comes to the world title scene.
Are there any more matches announced for the card or no?
No,
That was it?
I mean, there might be another match,
Right.
made
Added
tomorrow,
this week
but
at some point, sure, yeah.
Because
All right.
AEW,
Well, go ahead. What were you saying, Nika?
it's AEW. Of course, there's going to be two more matches added that has no reason to be on a freaking card.
It is Tony Khan. How many matches was that? That was what, 7 or 8? He's got to get
9.
to like 11. So
Put too much on,
that was
just
9.
too more on that
So
bad boy.
there you go. They're gonna get 2 more. All right. So it's late. We've been doing this for a couple hours. So let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up, as Dolores says. We'll do some housekeeping. We'll go ahead and put up the schedule. Anika, you want to do it, or you want me to do it?
I'm tired. You do
All
it.
right, I'll do it. On Monday nights, or on Mondays, I apologize. Sometimes it's AM, sometimes it's PM, depending on when Jay News and Dolores can be there, but it's always on Mondays. It is the very knowledgeable Dolores and the ringer, Jay News. I call him the ringer because he always wins our Seeing Stars predictions, which we call it, contest, because he knows more about New Japan than anybody. So, but on Mondays, check out Seeing Stars. Usually 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where they talk about New Japan, GCW, Now Wrestling Revolver, and a lot of other independent shows that that people are watching. So, and then on Tuesday nights, we're here. This is Tuesday night. You're here with us now for the cookout. We're always live. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where, as we've said it several times, we talk about all that's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling. On Wednesdays, it is all for not NAWT, not, uh, where myself and Sammy Joe talk about Monday Night Raw and NXT. That's at 7:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. On Thursdays, it's myself and Anika talking about everything in AEW from the week before on Aftermath of Dynamite. That is at 7:15 p.m. Pacific, 10:15 Eastern. We talk about Rampage from Friday, Collision from Saturday, and Dynamite from the night before. On Fridays, join us live for Friday Night Fights, where it's usually Anika and Sammy Joe watching SmackDown, and then either myself or CM or someone might join them for Rampage. It might just be the two of them. Sammy Joe's been gone for a little bit, so I've been filling in, and I'll be filling in this Friday as well. So that starts at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern with SmackDown. Then on Saturdays, you get Under the Radar, although that hasn't been, we haven't had one for several weeks, actually, for a little while. It will be coming back, I promise, as soon as we get back on a normal schedule. But that's normally on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. It is myself, ALW, and CM talking about Impact, Ring of Honor, MLW, and PTE, or being the Dark Order, whichever is going on at the moment. Um, Then Saturday night, you can join us live for Saturday Night is All Right or Saturday Night is All Right, where we do our live collision watch along. It should be Anika and CM with Dolores coming in when she can. So make sure to join us for that every Saturday live. And then on Sundays, we round out the week, usually with Enter the Square Circle. It is myself and Sammy Joe fighting it out on WWE 2K. It's been 23. Hopefully, it will be 24 when we come back. Yeah, to see who is the king of the square circle. I think I got everything. Let me put this up real quick. They still are taking donations for the wrestling club. They've got their tickets and their hotel rooms, but everything's expensive at WrestleMania. So any money they can have, this helps the kids of the wrestling club go to this WrestleMania and have an experience of a lifetime. So please donate to that if you have the ability to. We appreciate it. And if you don't, just even if you could share it, shout it out, let somebody know, we appreciate it. And they appreciate it too. It's always for the kids. So, unless you two have anything else to say, we'll just say peace and get up out of here.
This round robin tournament is going to be something special, and I hope everybody's looking forward to enter the square circle.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Until next time. Peace.
Bye.